They're his. They're yours.
Okay, it's actually streaming. You should be streaming within the next 30 seconds.
Okay, so Denise, then you're short a headphone.
You have someone grab the URL and spread it around.
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing that.
What's that?
Looking great here, Rob.
Short a headphone?
Looking great, man. Everything's looking great.
I know, this is a great resource that we should use, you know, more often.
Okay.
Yeah, you're short a headphone.
All right, you want to try it?
Go ahead.
Okay, hold on.
I'm gonna say it again.
You ready?
Yep.
Hi, this is Cindy Drew, a big fan of Danny Coleman's show, Rock on Radio. You obviously have good taste, too.
And then boom. Okay.
There's a headphone short here.
Well, no, because you got yours, right?
This is one.
Yeah, we don't have 6 heads or 8 heads.
That's you,
Can I
right?
plug into something? I have my own. That's what I'm saying to you.
Everybody doesn't get a headset.
We don't have another port where she could plug in?
Any port in a storm. Yeah, but I think they're all taken.
Okay, all right. Well, then, here, you take me.
You two sit over there.
Unless there's a phone call. Oh, actually, Paul. John, I'm expecting a phone call at 7:30.
Vinny, how do you like your steak?
Okay.
Rare. Medium rare.
All right, here's the deal, guys. You ready? This is kind of like you two were on my YouTube show already, so no religion, no politics, no foul language. Good?
You seem to be giving me more trouble than anybody.
You seem to be giving me more trouble than anybody here. You. Watch your language.
No, go ahead.
Watch your language.
I could give you just
Coming
one
from the
here.
F man.
You're going to have to, yeah, because when the phone call comes, I'm not going to be able to hear him.
F City.
And then I'll flip it out.
All right, we'll go with that.
We'll share a mic.
This say for the life of me, I don't understand why I can't publish this event. It's been saying this now for 4 hours.
Co-host, how are you, Nick? Marianne?
Tom,
Tom, nice to meet you.
nice to meet you too.
I go to Lisa's 10.
Okay. We'll probably have you play right after the first break will be the first tune. Somewhere around probably 7:35.
I don't know what to tell you, Marianne. Were you able to find a place to plug in?
Danny and I are just gonna share my headset, my monitors.
PANJ TV. Oh, 7 o'clock, huh?
It is 7 p.m.
All right, you ready?
Hold on a second.
Cell phones are off, men, or on vibrate?
All right, Dave.
Ready? Here we go.
Drew, a big fan of Danny Coleman's show, Rock on Radio. You obviously have good taste, too.
Rock on Radio Labor Day edition. I am your host, Danny Coleman, and I am joined in studio tonight by a whole bunch of people here this evening. Yeah. We have Engineer John. Hello, Engineer John.
Hey, how you doing tonight, Danny?
All right. Rob Bell is here manning the YouTube channel, the YouTube division of PANJ Radio, better known as PANJ TV, which they can tune in and watch the show this evening, as well as listen. Absolutely. If you're listening on PANJ Radio, you've got audio only. If you go to PANJ TV, you've got them both. Woohoo!
Awesome.
And the M-Cube is here. Hello. The photographer, Tom Callan, of M-Cube Photography, and my co-host, Miss Mary Ann has made a return to the
Thank
Federation.
you. I'm back.
You're back.
Yes.
I see that. You've been 2 out of 3 weeks. You've been out.
I know. I've been doing my 900 number voice, making money that way.
No way. Again?
Oh, I wish I could just
Like
get
that
my voice
DVD?
back. That DVD does not sound like that. Well, maybe.
You think? God, I watched a DVD in between the Spirograph graphics and the and the voice. I was ready to smoke a cigarette when I was all done with that one. Woohoo!
Well, at least it works. It means that you were relaxed.
I did. It relaxed me.
That's a good
It
thing.
did. It relaxed me. Of course, our international touring advisor is here as well, Mr. Rich Shalanda. Hello, Rich. Hello. Rich is back there. And we have a studio audience this evening of Tracy. Yay! For our studio audience. You can sit down. You can sit down, Trace, please. Be seated if you wish. Rock on Radio is coming to you live right here on PANJ Radio. You can follow us this evening and on Danny Coleman's Rock on Radio 2 or on Twitter, Rock on Radio, all one word, all caps. And Danny Coleman's Rock on Radio 2, the number 2 is Facebook, facebook.com/Danny Coleman's Rock on Radio 2. Also, tonight, anybody who calls us on
609.
460-4673. Anybody who calls us this evening will be eligible for a meet and greet with the Johnny Winter All-Star Band, which we will be giving away at the end of the program.
That is
this evening.
exciting.
So
He's a Grammy Award winning
he
artist.
is.
That's
Paul
great.
Nelson will be calling. Actually, he's supposed to call the show this evening around the 7:30 hour or so, but or half hour, and we will gladly welcome him. But we got big stuff here tonight. Not only now, I had for those of you at home, these two here, I had them on my YouTube show. But tonight we've got the whole band, which means those two there, and we're going to go right around the table. And you are
Tom.
He sounds so
Nick.
Caroline.
Doug, and they together are Mr. Payday. Whee! You come to me through Bob Macon
Yeah, that's it.
on this Annihilation Day. Oh wait, sorry.
But you know what I like?
Don't
Mr.
start them
Payday?
going.
He's wearing Hall & Oates shirt.
Hey, I brought my
know
Italians
that.
with me. You better watch it.
You brought your
We're in our
what?
own
I
section
brought my
over here.
Italians with me over here.
These guys.
Well, that's 3 there. It's a triumvirate,
Hey,
right?
Over soon.
Right?
the Romans have to counteract the Saxons and Angles over there.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
That leaves us Celts in the middle.
You guys are all right. We like the Celts.
We have a Tasmanian back here too, I think. But, right, Trace? We're from Trenton. See? Yeah, I knew that'd make her smile.
Yeah, you gotta say it right. Otherwise, forget it. Be in trouble.
Trenton, New Jersey. Forget the ends. Actually, John, I have to. When you were off making your dish commercial, now that you're an international television star for Dawn Dish
Yes.
Detergent, the following week I got a call actually to be when he said the Romans. That reminded me. I actually had to go film for a miniseries that's going to be on CNN about the Pope in March.
Wait till you see the costume. Loved it.
Eventually I'll put the graphic up, but I look like Christopher Columbus on steroids or Henry VIII. All I needed was the turkey leg. I would have been like Henry VIII. You know.
I loved
But,
it.
I
it's
can't
gonna be
wait
on.
to
It's
see
going to
it.
be on CNN in
You
March.
actually wore leotards. I loved it.
Oh, you had to go there.
I
You had
did.
to go. You had to tell everybody.
I couldn't help myself. That was the best part of the photo.
Oh, you think so? Wow. All right. Well, with us tonight are Mr. Payday. And as we said, anybody who calls us tonight with a question or a comment, 460-609-460-4673, will be eligible for the meet and greet. Pair of tickets for World Cafe Live this Saturday in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania to see the Johnny Winter All-Star Band. So, well, you guys, you have come to me, and lady, Miss Caroline, you have come to me on... we're getting close, man. The Bob Macon,
The
Rock
big
New
Rock
Brunswick
New
is,
Rock New Brunswick Festival, which we
That's-
are like the kickoff. We're playing the kickoff party at a place called Volume 4. Very scary place, but it's still nice.
Mark 4? It's
Yeah.
called Volume 4?
Volume
Is
4.
that in honor of the Black Sabbath album?
Well, yeah, because his other studio was Technical Ecstasy, and now this is Volume 4.
Oh.
Chris Pierce.
Took me a
This
while to
gentleman
make
who
that
owns a
connection.
studio, and he also has shows up at his place. We used to practice there back in the old
Back in
days.
the day.
We used to practice it there, and when it was something different, it's called MF Studios. But now it is Volume 4, and
And that didn't come from Black Sabbath.
that didn't come from
No.
Black Sabbath.
Surprisingly.
But it's
Yeah, exactly.
we used to love that playing that. We used to love going there because every time we'd come out, they'd let out the Mexican AA meeting out of there, and we used to go, it's and they all would come flooding down the stairs at us.
That was really something.
It was
Something
a lot
to
of fun.
see.
It was a lot of fun.
Did you guys ever try to blend in?
Oh yeah, of course. See,
I think our beer breath gave us away.
yeah.
And it felt like you were descending into the catacombs of the industrial
Well,
wasteland of New Brunswick.
we always make this joke. It's kind of like going in, in Spinal Tap when they're trying to find a way, and Bo Diddley keeps pointing them down the hallway.
It's so true.
That's what this place is like. But it's a lot of fun. It'll be a fun gig.
Yeah,
And then they're
absolutely.
doing the big show, the big festival show on Sunday, which is the show we're playing is September 9th. We're playing with a band, called Spouter, a band called Glazer, and a band called Shruvon, which is funny because I didn't realize, but they actually played a basement at a place that I lived at, and I saw an old video for it, and I was like, wow, look at those guys, and you see me on the side watching the gig. I'm like, meanwhile, we booked the show, I didn't even know, but they're actually playing this thing, and that's on the 9th, and then the big show is going to be in Boyd Park on
24th.
September 10th.
September
September
10th.
10th. Yeah, rock, the
September
whole
10th.
Rock New Brunswick.
That's the big
thing.
festival outside. That's
right.
with Anderson Council and Hub City Stompers, all my old friends there. And Fuse, I think, are playing with Silent Night, Cook and Douglas, I think. And there's a couple other bands, Killer Shrimp, some other bands,
There's a whole list, actually.
There's a whole list that I don't
so-
have on me, of course, because
all right.
I'm always ill-prepared.
Well, we'll get to that, Doug. Relax.
Yeah,
Take a
no,
breath.
We're good.
Take a
We're
breath.
good.
Well, as I said, you've come to me because of that, and you and Caroline were on YouTube with me on
Yes.
One More with Danny Coleman on the Carousel Arts Network, and we talked, about all this, that, and the whole thing and everything. But let's tell all of our listeners here on PANJ Radio and PANJ TV about the beginning of the band. How did you guys all get together? How did it form? Why Mr. Payday? Go ahead.
Nick,
Do you want to tell it, Nikki? Why don't you tell a story?
Sure, yeah.
Tell Nikki's going to tell the story.
Let's see. Well, Tom and Doug go back late 80s, 90s in a band called Bad Karma. I met Doug in about 2002.
Yeah.
Just after Bad Karma had dissolved. I was basically doing metal and hardcore drumming up to this point, and I wanted to be in a rock band.
Right.
A singer we knew put an ad somewhere. I don't know where I found the ad. And I met
East
up-
Coast rocker.
East Coast rocker. And,
Kind of lean more that
Oh,
way.
sorry.
There you go.
And
Here we
and
go.
We can
so-
hear you,
oh,
but
there
they
we
can't, so
Oh,
go
yeah.
ahead.
Sorry. Gig. Yeah, so that's how I met Doug. Another friend of ours, Rob. We had a band called This Stuff Will Kill You for about
2 minutes.
5 years.
No, we were
4 years.
We were actually.
Was it 4 or 5 years?
4 or 5 years.
And then that disbanded, and I started playing with a guy, Greg McGarvey. I worked with Caroline, and she expressed interest in always wanting to sing in a band. So
You open the window. He's out by the river over here.
we played the J.B. Klein's once, like when I first met him.
Oh, 2 doors down
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
from the
We
station.
did like an open mic or whatever. So Caroline it was just awesome. Like this treasure we found who could just sing anything, any harmony, and played keyboards, which you never find keyboard players. So we had a gig at the Court Tavern, just the three of us. It's drums, keys, and guitar. Greg played guitar. And Doug was bartending, and he's like, "Oh, I'm back playing with Tom, and maybe we should just join forces and have
Well,
the
actually,
dual
we
guitar."
had got together and said.
Oh,
we were
that's
gonna-
right,
We were,
yeah.
as a trio, we were just gonna kicking around stuff to see how that would turn out.
He played the,
And I was like-
the Bad Karma reunion.
Yeah, well, that was later on.
'cause I played
Come
in
on
that
now.
too.
That was later on.
But I was like, let's see, let's put these bands together and see what happens. And we did, and of course it exploded within about 4 months because of the McArchive. And then he's on his way out, and then we all came back in. So here we are. The 4 of us are still playing. And
that was about 2011, I think. We actually, the 4 of
Yeah.
us, coalesced as a band.
he took that great picture of us in the parking garage.
Yeah. That's so weird that he took that picture.
Oh, yeah.
he was on his way out.
He was very mad
He was.
that we used that picture.
Certain ethereal quality to that picture too. He's just,
Foreboding.
yes.
Yeah. Like he floated right out of the picture.
So,
Chiaroscuro.
all right. So, how
The
long ago was
Chiaroscuro
that? What year?
picture.
That's 2011.
11.
2011.
Okay, so you guys been together for
2011?
about 6 years. As it
That's
is
right.
now.
We have 3 records out. Our new record is out now. Welcome to the modern world.
Where is it?
Of course. I'll bring it back next time I come back. I
He
always
left
forget.
that book in his locker.
Last time I had to walk away and go grab it.
That's right.
I
That's-
brought copies. I brought copies
Now-
for you to give away.
I don't know if you guys saw it when they were on One More with Danny Coleman. All of a sudden, like we're in the middle of talking, he just gets up and
He
walks
just got up
away.
and walked away. I saw that and went,
Where is he
I was
going?
like,
I'm
where's he
thinking.
going?
Mamma mia.
He abandoned us, Caroline.
Yeah. He
thought it was just
left
radio.
us there.
Yeah, right?
So so we have. Here you go. The studio audience is going to help you out.
There we go. But anyway, we have this fabulous new record out on Polanco Records, the fabulous Polanco label that is
They
our
do it
label.
all.
yeah, we do
Yeah.
it
We
all.
do it all. You do your laundry, we do your landscaping, we do
Car
everything.
service.
Is that like Ron Propeel's Pocket Fisherman?
Kind of.
Well,
Yeah.
Remember them things?
As not seen on TV.
That's not seen on TV. There
Except
you
for,
go.
oh, wait, hold on.
Well,
I
wait,
can't
now
say
you're
that
being
until
seen
now.
on TV.
P-A-N-J TV.
That's correct. You're being
We're on
seen
TV.
on television now.
We're on TV now, huh?
That's right.
Hey.
I'm sure Polanco could set your website up for you.
I was like,
too.
hey, Mom, I'm on TV. Oh, I forgot she's dead. That's
we-
terrible.
Wow.
Sorry, that was really,
That's
that was
cool.
a bad taste. Anyway,
It's not
Can't help
coffee
it.
in his cup. I don't
hey,
think.
come on.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know it is, actually.
I'm giving you an out here.
Believe me, it'd be a lot worse if it wasn't.
Oh, there it is. Good.
It's in there.
What's in that?
That's all. It's a secret. I cannot tell you.
Well,
Elixir
don't worry
of
about it.
youth.
It's right. I'm really 104.
Yeah.
I just looks 85.
It's okay, I'm 106.
See? Obviously, you've had the same elixir. All right, so we had talked a little bit, again, when it was just the 3 of us, about bands and getting together. And, you see that? The studio audience has come through. There.
Look at here it is.
You know what you can do there, Doug, if you want? You can lean that right against my computer.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll put it right up
They'll be able
there.
to see it. There you
There
go,
we
Mr.
go.
Payday.
And I guess the first caller who calls
Hey.
in gets that copy?
Yeah.
That might be Paul Nelson.
Well, he doesn't qualify.
He doesn't qualify. Wow.
Sorry.
We'll be
That's
down
right.
at Vincent Record Exchange turning that one in.
There
If
you
you're
go.
part of the family.
If you're just tuning in, this is Rock on Radio. I am your host, Danny Coleman, and we are joined in studio tonight by Mr. Payday. We are welcoming Mary Ann back into the fold, and Mr. Shalanda, our advisor back there. Do you have any advice for us, Mr. Shalanda? No. Not
Stay in
as
school.
as of now. He says no.
You know what I want to know? Because I love your name, Mr. Paycheck. How did you...
Paycheck.
Mr. Payday.
Payday, excuse me. I'm thinking paycheck. See that?
I see that.
Oh,
But I
my.
like Mr. Payday, and I
We'd
love it. I
as
said it
in-
outside.
as
I
in
want to
we'd
know how
like
you
to
got
get
that.
one.
I've been thinking
about that.
You like to know how we came up with the name Mr. Payday?
Oh, no.
Yeah, for a band name.
It's
yeah.
a good story.
Well, it's a good story.
I never
Have you
heard
ever
of-
seen,
I
you
have
ever
heard
seen
a good
John
one.
Waters' movie, A Dirty Shame?
Yeah, actually.
You remember
what's
that
that,
guy
Mr.
who goes up
Payday?
and down the street and he goes into all the bathrooms and doesn't flush? That's Mr. Payday. The guy who does the upper decker. And the guy who actually
It really fits our music.
he
too.
actually goes in this woman's purse. And he's like,
He's only in the movie for like 30 seconds.
oh, he's
He
great.
made
though.
an impact
That's
on
his-
us.
Apparently so. I see that.
We've immortalized him.
And whose idea was it to name the band?
Oh,
Doug, they're
Once
pointing right
again.
at you, buddy.
I know, it's all
Well,
me.
it was his idea, and I was like, I have to watch the movie before I can sign off on
Yeah.
that personally. But it's a, you know, if you like John Waters,
Well, it's kind of like that big star type thing. Like most people don't know what Mr. Payday is. It sounds like, hey, Mr. Payday, huh? Look, don't realize the wacky connotation that goes along with it, which is really cool. I like that. I think that's like, that says a lot.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's like your buddies that you're doing these gigs with, the Anderson Council. When they
Oh,
told me why they're called the Anderson Council, do you know what?
I do.
Yeah.
For Pink Floyd, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And, you know,
It's funny, we ran into Pete before when we were outside.
Yeah, I saw
Pete
him
was
when I was
walking around with his,
parking.
with his girlfriend, actually, walking down the street, and I was like, hey, look.
did you invite them in?
I didn't invite him in because he looked like he had enough from walking around all day. But Pete, you're okay. I know you're probably home relaxing now. You're out hanging out all day, and you've had enough of this. You don't want to have to sit and listen to these guys. Again. You can listen to them from the comfort of your home with your feet up. That's what the best part of this is. You don't have to really get down and, you don't have to get, sit up, you don't have that front row seat, to see Mr. Payday where, I might, hit you with sweat or something when I'm, jumping around. You can watch from the comfort of your home. It's kind of like going to the zoo and watching the animals in the cage.
Well, see, that's exactly right. And you can, they're getting that right here tonight
Yeah,
on
yeah.
PANJTV.com.
It's like Monkey Jungle,
No,
Like
tell
Monkey
me, tell
Jungle,
us
where-
more about that.
You ever been to Monkey Jungle?
No.
That's where the monkeys are, like you're in the cage and the monkeys run free. Hey, come on.
Could we should do a remote from there.
For
That would
Monkey
be
Jungle,
fun.
that'd be awesome.
Can you
just
imagine?
just watch out if you're in throwing distance. Those
Exactly.
monkeys can.
There
go
used to
through.
be a place up in
Oh,
North
Mr.
Jersey.
Payday.
I can't remember what
What they throw.
Yeah, exactly.
where exactly it was in North Jersey. I forget what county, but it was called Jungle Habitat.
Oh yeah, Jungle
Jungle
Habitat. I
Habitat.
remember that. Just drive through, and,
And
then
then-
monkeys rip your antennas off your
Yeah.
car.
It's like a
Windshield
safari, a
wipers.
That
great
was
adventure.
before the safari. Great
But do you
Adventure.
remember? Do you remember when they one day they just closed down?
abandoned it, yeah.
They left all the jeeps there. They left all the food there. They,
Well,
it's
left all
like
the
as if-
animals too, no doubt.
too, yeah.
Yeah, it was all
There's
yeah.
probably all sorts of like different breeds.
Which is
of
funny
animals.
because they had the whole Warner Brothers tie-in too at some point, didn't they? Because they had like Bugs Bunny on their posters and all that. So they must have been paying a licensing fee for that stuff.
I
at
think
some
it's
point.
now something called Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah, nice.
That's where they're filmed. That's where they film them. Forget those
Nice.
plush islands in Hawaii.
Yeah, it's all New
Jungle
Jersey.
Habitat.
It's all New
freaking
Jersey.
Union
It's in
County or
Milford.
whatever they
Well,
go.
they have a dinosaur
Milford.
park, but I don't know if it's still open.
Who?
In Jersey.
Yeah,
Oh
there's
yeah,
a
they,
dinosaur
Dino
park.
Land or something.
I've been
Oh,
there.
Yeah. Have you?
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Would you take Rich or?
No, I was there. But what was funny is that I landed up
like
being with a
Dino
bunch of children,
Yeah.
and what they saw before you did, it was like, come here, and you're looking at this thing, and you're like, this thing is huge, And of course, they look real. Then they act like they're real. And then you start wondering, because then watching the kids, when the dinosaur would come down face to face and watching them run the other way, it's a great joy for me to watch.
Nice.
That was my
You-
day.
You like kids much?
Well, after they were trying to scare me, it was fun watching them get scared. And then when they turn around, I
Running
would
for the
sit there and
hills.
try to pet the dinosaur just to see what they would do. And then, of course, they'd come back, and then you would turn around and at them. It was much fun.
Nikki, if you
For
behave,
those
I'll
of you
take
at
you
home
to the
watching,
Turtleback
now
Zoo.
you know what Marianne really does with her spare time.
Turtleback Zoo.
If you behave, I'll take you to the Turtleback
We'll
Zoo.
see. We'll see how we do.
Yeah.
If you behave.
You guys like that? You take each other places?
take
or-
'em, yeah.
Come on.
The Romans stick together.
You guys are close.
Those guys, they
I tell you,
Close-knit
They
man,
closed down
The
too.
tight-knit
though,
rhythm
unfortunately.
gotta
section
stick
over
together.
I see that. That's right. Bass
Rhythm
and drums.
section.
Now, Tom, you are the bass player in the band.
Yes, sir.
How long have you been playing the bass?
A long time.
How old are you? Wow.
He doesn't want to reveal.
106 years.
106 years?
He's
Is
drinking
that-
the same elixir you are.
Is that dog years or what are we dealing with? Okay.
Bass player years.
Bass player years. Callan, that explains it. Look, he's a bass player. See. How about you, Nick?
I've been playing, 28 years.
28 years been playing the drums. I see you have a Franken kit going on over there, man.
Yeah.
It's the Mets kit.
Yeah.
the mess.
Tom insisted I get a 24-inch bass drum, so I found one, and it was Sparkle, and I was like, oh, I like that. And then I found just randomly a rack tom on eBay that was a blue Sparkle. And being a semi-bonkers Mets fan, I was like, I got to find that orange floor tom. Took a minute, about 6 months, but I found it.
So
and,
you've got
there's
and
the
they're all
Franken kit.
sparkly.
Yeah.
So you got
That's a
blue,
drummer's minute.
Orange. And
He had to man up and get the
Yeah,
24-inch
do me a
bass
favor
drum.
though.
Man up.
Put that Giants thing on the inside of your kick drum and stuff, so we can't see it. So you're just like hitting it.
just punch the
Yeah,
Giants
he
in
likes the
face.
Giants. Well, Caroline likes the Giants too. So.
You guys are Giants fans?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like a fanatical about it, but that's who I lean toward. when I feel like watching football.
That's who I lean toward.
Yeah.
Doug leads towards the police station under the stadium, under the vet.
I actually had a coworker the other day. I was punching out of my, sadly, day job. And I'm punching out of my day job, and I'm walking down the hall, and a guy looks at me and goes, "Where do you think you're going so early?" I said, "I'm going where I belong." And before I could say home, he goes, "Where? Jail?"
Nice.
Wow.
The kind of reputation I have, right?
Yeah,
That's a coworker.
Oh, yeah.
How about you, Caroline? Let's get Caroline some microphone
Yeah.
here. Can we,
Should I,
or lean over that way.
Get over
Okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
But so am I just describing my history?
My
My history, keyboard-wise, I probably started piano lessons when I was about 6 or 7. So I don't know, late 20-something years. And then I kind of stopped after high school, but I played the banjo a little bit in there.
The banjo.
Yeah, I should really bring it back, so we don't really.
You really should.
Yeah, it would be an interesting blend with
the
what we've
mandolin.
got going
The
on, but
mandolin.
Mandolin and
yeah.
banjo.
I'll set that one out. It'll be great.
And then, and then when I met up with Nick, and I was talking about how I like to sing, and he's like, we were thinking about, adding a keyboard, and I was like, I played piano, see what we can do with that, and so then got back into it.
So how does a rose like you end up with these 3 thorns?
She keeps the whole group together.
Thorns.
It's a mystery.
You're welcome, everybody.
It seems to work, oddly enough. We have a nice dynamic, so.
So she's part of my catchphrase here. Behind every group of men, good men is a better woman.
Nice.
She keeps it together.
That's true in this case.
She keeps everybody on their toes, I'm sure.
Well, who is it?
It's,
But she really puts up with us, I'll tell you what. She really
Yeah.
does put up with us.
Well, who is it you knew that brought you in?
just Nick. And we were
Believe me,
working
she
together,
didn't know
and-
Doug or I.
You'll love these guys. Trust
Are
me.
you saying she would have rethought it?
I'm sure she enjoyed the one practice that I came up there and I got mad. And I
Threw the
my
guitar through the.
I threw my guitar and stormed out and went
That
back
was
down to the bar.
that was
like-
toward the end of our 5-person band.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Doug,
when the other
Doug
person
broke
left.
his guitar.
I
was
didn't
like,
break it, but I threw it.
You did.
Yeah.
You did throw it.
I threw it.
Tom probably had to fix it.
I had to, yes, I did fix it.
But yeah, it's
I fix things.
like the band that I had with Nick, where it was the 3 of us, and we blended really well together too. But it was missing that bass. We really needed to have a bass, and I would play bass lines on my keyboard, and it sort of worked, but it was like not that beefed up. So then, since he was playing with
brought the
these
beef.
gentlemen, he was like, we should just play together and see what happens, and like it actually sounded good. It's just the personalities didn't blend. But like the 4 of us still had a nice chemistry. So
And it was good because you got to play more like keyboard
actual-
and sing
yeah.
lead, which you weren't doing with
Right.
in the other band.
Well, it became more of a democracy than,
Well, that was
Yeah.
the big difference for me, is to hear Caroline sing lead vocals.
No, that's it.
Instead of constantly doing harmonies, which she excels at, but it's a whole nother
Yeah.
world when,
Absolutely.
that's a great thing about the band, is that, we all get a vocal turn. And Caroline is definitely, her voice has whipped us into shape, I would say, in a lot of ways, which has been good, because you hear the record, you hear the harmonies on it. It's a bit of a throwback, but it's right.
Now, you have children, small
Yes, I
children.
do.
Right? Do you ever bring them to practice just to make them behave?
I should think about that.
There's a tactic you haven't used yet.
But it actually helps me, not stay out too late. We have a gig, and I'll be way past my bedtime. Playing at 11, I'm usually in bed by at least 10 or earlier. With small kids getting up early. So that's changed a little bit since I, first joined. I didn't have any children. I wasn't even married yet. So.
Yeah, that's right.
I think I've grown a lot
Yeah,
in
it's a
this
long-
band,
we have been
actually.
a band
Yeah.
a long time.
Yeah.
Did you make her husband come to you guys and ask permission if?
He actually was happy. Good.
I think
Take
we were,
her.
I think we were
Nice.
engaged.
Get her out of the house.
maybe,
Yeah,
when
he
we-
kind of came with the.
He's,
It
he
was a
part of the
package deal.
Yeah.
All right,
He's like, take her for gone.
Yeah.
Get
you know what, John? Why don't we let's go to break early because I'm expecting a phone call at 7:30. So why why don't we get that queued up? If you're just tuning in, this is Rock On Radio. Our guests this evening are the band Mr. Payday, or is the band Mr. Payday.
I love it.
You like that?
Yes,
That cracks
I
you
do.
up.
It's a good name.
It is a great name.
Again, 609-460-4673. So if you want to give us a call tonight, please do so, and we'll register you for the meet and greet with the Johnny Winter All-Star Band. And we should have Paul Nelson coming when we come back from break. So, and then we're going to hear some music
That's wonderful.
from
I can't
Mr.
wait.
Payday.
Excited.
So we'll be right back.
Here's Rob Bell, Tri-Partisan Radio, and we've got Steve.
Hey folks, this is Steve Falcone. I'm here to share my conservative political views with the rest of this great gang.
And we've got Vinny.
I'm Vinny V, and I'm here to talk about the liberal end of the situation and how it's more than just liberal, it's spiritual.
Well, let's face it, there's a huge divide right now in this country between the left and the right. A lot of people think President Trump is just a terrible president. Other people think he is a breath of fresh air. We're here to talk about all that and more, so tune in on PANJ Radio. We're live on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. And join us as we discuss politics like you've never heard before.
Hey, I'm Deirdre Anderson with Delish Catering.
And I'm Laura Mangone from Chambers Walk Cafe and Catering.
And we'd like you to join us on Food for Thought, where what do we talk about, Laura? We talk about restaurants, we talk about
Pet
recipes,
peeves,
pet
food.
peeves, bitchy hostesses.
All sorts of food-related items.
All sorts of
Tune
food
in.
stuff, and sometimes not so much food stuff. We go off on segues, but we have a lot of fun, don't we?
Absolutely.
So join us on Food for Thought.
PANJradio.com, 1 o'clock weekdays.
Hey, this is Danny Coleman, the host of Rock On Radio, and I'm thrilled to be coming to my new home right here on PANJradio.com from Lambertville, New Jersey, where you'll hear the best of indie artists every Sunday night, 7 p.m. I'm excited. You should be too. Rock on. That's like deja vu all over again, John. I just heard myself. How did that happen?
It did.
Freaked me out.
Okay, Doug, you were the last one we didn't get to there, sir.
Okay,
As far
about-
as your Doug, have you not been paying attention? What's going on here, Doug?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you want to know my history of my history.
Yes, why not? You're
Well,
the last one.
I mean, I started playing guitar when I was probably in third grade, maybe second grade.
Okay.
So I've been playing for like about 45 years.
Nice.
And you know, I was in a hardcore band. The first band I was in was a band called Pleased Youth. That we had a record out and we did a bunch of stuff, and then it unceremoniously broke up. And then I had another band with Tom over here called Bad Karma, which we played at for a long time. Had
I
some
remember
records
that
out.
band. I remember
people
hearing
remember
hearing
people kind of remember Bad Karma, and then and it was a very good band. I mean, just didn't get the breaks that we should have gotten, of course, because that's what happens in the music business. I also had a band called Lunar Ensemble, which
That was
is
the first
really
thing
good.
we did. That's where I met you.
That's where I met Tom when we started playing. You know, that was around 1986.
And that was wild.
Yeah, it was wild, man. We played with Martin Atkins from PIL. He played in PIL, Ministry, Killing Joke. He was like a big heavy hitter drummer. We were very lucky to play in a band with him, and also with Lance Carter, who played with Sonny Chiroc's band, was a great drummer. Miss him.
Oh, I miss him so much.
He was a great drummer to play with. So I've been very lucky. I get to play with good drummers, even Nicky. Nah,
Danny,
Nicky.
are you going to jump in?
I told you the story about how I met Nicky, though. I mean, when we came in, he showed up for he showed up for an audition. After we auditioned a bunch of drummers, he came in, and I was like, wow, man, this kid's good. I like that foot. Really hard hitting drummer, sound like John Bonham. I was like, I'm keeping this guy.
Gotta like
I
that.
love him. He ain't
Gotta
going
like
nowhere.
that.
All right, what are we doing now here? You're making the hand signals. I thought maybe you had something going on.
I know, and they're
You want me
really
to-
clean.
Pay no
hand signals.
attention to that man behind the curtain.
You just broke the fourth wall.
Broke the fourth wall.
See, I can actually I can hide behind my laptop tonight.
It was like back in the old days.
Which
I'd be
I have to
breaking the
do
wall on
'cause-
my guitar.
And they're not suggestive either.
So
They're
what kind of
actually
guitar was it that you destroyed?
I didn't destroy it. Actually. I
you
just
threw
threw it. It was a Stratocaster.
It was that one.
No, it wasn't. It was a Stratocaster.
You threw the Strat?
Yeah, I threw the Strat.
And it did not break?
Those things are like fenders. You could throw them.
indestructible.
Well, it's like the one. But I finally broke my lead too. We played a gig at the Asbury Lane,
Which I fixed.
and I threw it. And I used to throw this thing at the end of the show. It's my slide guitar. And actually, Springsteen was there that night. And I was like, at the end of the show, I was like, I threw it, and of course, it landed right on the neck and broke.
Oh.
So, yeah, that one, I kind of watch throwing guitars anymore, 'cause I don't really like, I had bad luck with that one. But, I mean, hey, I threw that guitar for many years, and somehow I managed to not break it.
There you go. Well, we got a phone caller. And actually, while I'm taking this phone call, you guys want to set up? Because when we come back, you're gonna play a little bit there. Mr. Payday. Hello, welcome to Rock on Radio. Who is this?
Danny Coleman, this is your buddy George. How are you today?
Oh, George. How are you, George?
How are you?
Very interesting show. I recognize a bunch of those bands, and I'm quite pleased with it thus far.
Oh, you're
But I have
quite
one
pleased with
question
that.
for you, Danny.
You want to know where Estelle is?
No. Have you checked your photo album?
Wait a minute. Hold on. I got it. All right, go ahead. What was your question, George?
Oh, he hung up.
He hung up. I have no idea what George wants.
He wants to know where's.
Checked my photo album.
Have you checked your photo album?
Do I have a photo
Have
album?
you- that's
I don't
what
know.
he said.
Maybe on your phone? I don't know. Well,
Oh, Jesus. Hold on.
I think
Hold on.
you might have an admirer.
Hold on. Here's what we're going to do.
Uh-oh.
Here's what we're going to do.
What are we doing?
Oh, we're going to take it apart and do a half and
Hold
half.
on. Hey, Paul Nelson. Paul, are you there, buddy? Hello? Paul? There you go. Yeah, no, hold on for 1 second. You called the wrong number there, Paul. You got to call the station number. But we're going to patch we're going to patch it through, buddy. Not a problem. As soon as John gets us the outside line there.
You got that on the CD?
Yeah, you will be in a second. John, the same one you used for the opener, buddy. Oh, okay. I don't know what happened. All right, hold on for a second, Paul. Can you do me a favor and call back the station line?
Hold on 1 second.
Because we're live on the air right now, but unfortunately, for some reason, we're having a malfunction, and I can't patch you into my cell
It
phone.
makes it look
so.
like a personal call on business time.
It's 609-460. Gotta love live radio. 609-460-4673. All right,
Okay,
good.
thank you.
Just tuning in. This is Rock on Radio. There we go. Now we got it.
I love it.
My guests tonight are Mr. Payday, and they are about ready to perform, but we're expecting a call very shortly from Mr. Paul Nelson, who, again, anybody who calls tonight will be registered to win tickets to the meet and greet in Philadelphia, 609-460-4673.
You got it.
So,
Absolutely. And don't forget, they'll get a CD of Mr. Page.
We got him?
Payday.
There he is.
How
hey,
are
Paul.
you?
There you go. Much
I'm
better.
here.
How are you, sir?
Hello.
Great.
Oh, gosh.
So we're still live?
Yeah, we're live now. We were live
Yeah, I should
before,
give
but
out-
nobody could
I
hear
should
you.
give out my home. I should give out my home address too.
No, they didn't see your phone number. I got that's all down.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. That's all my. It's all myself.
There you go.
So you're on the road with Johnny Winter All Star Band, right?
Well, that and also we're doing that show on the 9th at the World Cafe. But I'm also touring with my band. I got signed with Sony, so we're playing all over the planet, really. But yeah, I'm doing a special Johnny Winter thing on the 9th, September 9th.
All right, yes, at World Cafe Live, and we're giving away a meet and greet here tonight. So that means I'm going to get to see you again.
Oh, great! Perfect.
So
yeah, I love the World Cafe. We played the other one over near D.C.
Oh, down in Delaware, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was fantastic. So I'm excited to go to this one.
Fantastic. So what can we expect to see and hear? Who's in the band with you these days?
I got Bobby Torello, who was Johnny's original drummer from back in the day. I was with Johnny. I was his last guitar player, and then I have Mike Nuno on bass, who did Johnny's 70th birthday party at BB King's in New York. So it's a power trio that we do, and we play all Johnny's tunes from Highway 61 to Boney Maroney to Jumpin' Jack Flash. You know, all the classic songs that Johnny did that I used to play with him in his band, and everybody from the past. Yeah, all the songs he was known for.
Now, are you doing anything off your latest release?
I might sneak something in there. But that album's called Badass Generation. Like I said, I got signed with Sony, and you know, I played with Johnny for many years, and he was a big fan of my playing, as I was obviously of his. He was one of my idols. But you know, he always wanted me to continue on and play stuff that that he heard me play at sound checks and in the studio. So I put this out, and Sony was interested, and they said, do what you want, and I've been touring it this whole, for several months now. We just got finished up in Canada. We played in Midwest twice. Now we're heading down to Jersey, then down to Florida, then Nebraska, Alabama. So we got a lot of shows coming up in October and November.
You giving that tour bus a workout?
I want to be on your tour bus.
That's right.
Well, yeah, and speaking of that, I mean, with Johnny, he and I were doing 180 shows a year.
Yeah, I know.
For 9 years. Yeah, we played everywhere from Japan to China to all over Europe, all over the U.S., some wild places. So it was a wild ride with Johnny, and then, his last album received a Grammy, which was something he never got for a solo album before, so I was pretty proud to be part of that.
Yeah, and you produced that, correct?
Yeah, played on it, produced it. It had Eric Clapton was on it. It was Johnny and I playing with Clapton, with Ben Harper, Billy Gibbons, Dr. John, Leslie West, Joe Perry, just a ton of great players, and the album did really well. It was the second sequel to Roots, which came out before that,
right.
Which I produced as well. And that had Warren Haynes and Sonny Landreth, and Edgar, his brother, was on it. So, yeah.
Yeah, you had now, what was that like working with them in studio? I mean,
oh, it was great. I mean, some obviously flew in because they were on tour, like Derek Trucks and Susan Tedeschi. But Warren Haynes, a good friend of mine, matter of fact, I just played with him a couple of weeks ago. He was in the studio. Jimmy Vivino, John Medeski and Woods. They're all great. They all, they've all practiced their craft, and they're all great players, and it's fun to play with these guys. Like I said, Warren's a great friend, so I've been at his Jamaican Exodus thing with Government Mule, and Sonny Landreth is a good friend, so I play with him a lot. But to play with and record with all those other artists was just, it was fantastic.
Well, now, as the producer, obviously, you've got some input. So how do you turn around and tell a guy like, oh, I don't know, Eric Clapton, you know what, Eric, I'm not sure I like that there.
You don't. That's why you're a good producer. You know when to shut up. But it was interesting with Eric Clapton. The thing was, I had asked Clapton to do it, but he said, "Oh, I would do it," and no one said no for Johnny. But the problem was all their touring schedules.
Right.
You know, everybody wanted an opportunity to play with Johnny, and if you think about the artists on this record, these were all first time that they ever played together. These were on one album. You know, Billy Gibbons had never played with him, Joe Perry and Clapton, but Clapton was on tour. So he said, "Well, I would do it, but I'm on tour." And I was like, "Well, when do you get off tour?" And 3 months, and I knew I had a deadline, so I was like, "Okay, but you would do it?" "Yes, I would." So I called up the record label and I held the project for 3 months.
Just to get Clapton.
Yep, and then called up and I said, "You promised." Boom, that's how I got him. That's how a producer works, among the many other things. Yeah, but no, everybody, that sent the stuff in. The trick was so that it didn't sound too disjointed. You know, everybody knows that people record and send stuff in, and it's your job to edit it and put it together. But I didn't want it to sound like it was flown in or that kind of thing. So I really went to great lengths to find out what kind of amps they used in their studio, what were the dimensions of the walls, what kind of microphones, what kind of reverb, what kind of mics that kind of thing, so that I could recreate that in our studio to make it sound more cohesive.
Right.
And I put a lot of work into doing that, and I also knew it was going to come out on vinyl, so I catered to that, in an analog kind of way as well. So,
okay.
And that was an important part as a producer, what I did, the right compression, that kind of thing, to make it sound good when you guys play it.
Very nice.
It's all about you guys and
That's
the
it.
fans.
All about us listeners.
Absolutely. I mean, what you do to get stuff played is so important, and like I said, I really appreciate it.
Now I have a band. They're actually, when we're off the phone, they're going to start performing live for us right here in studio. Mr. Payday. Any advice for these guys?
Plug in.
Plug
in. I love playing live at radio stations. It's really cool. It's impromptu. I don't know what the instrumentation is, but if you got an acoustic, mic it. If you got a guitar, plug it in. The drummer always has the hardest part because they usually give him a box in the corner or some kind of notepad to play on, because you can't fit all the drums in there. But go for it and good luck.
Fortunately, we have a very large, expansive space here at PANJ Radio. We've got the
There you
full
go.
band in here. Yeah.
There you go. I mean, I've been over at Bluesville BB King's thing, and it was a little room with one mic, and we're knocking into the DJ with the headstock of the guitars.
Nice.
So, yeah. But that's great. I'm glad you got all that room. That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
How many people in the band? 13?
No, not this time.
Not this time.
There's 10, 12, 4.
4.
Oh, that's great. That's cool.
Before I let you go, websites. How do we find you, Paul?
I'm on all the socials. Just Google Paul Nelson. You'll find me. PaulNelsonGuitar.com. It's got all the tour dates. It's got the little samples of the new album, all the links and everything. So yeah, and things like this. Listen to the radio, and then we'll be at that show on the 9th. I'm psyched about that.
September 9th, World Cafe Live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Can we expect any surprises, or is it just going to be the power trio?
It's the power trio. Unless I drag somebody, I'm playing a show in Jersey down at Summers Point, and that's the Paul Nelson Band. We're doing a big outdoor fest. I played there several weeks ago with, I'm recording with Derek St. Holmes from the Ted Nugent Band.
Oh, okay.
So I'm returning there. So maybe I'll bring one of those guys along.
There you go.
It's the bass player from Foghat.
That's right.
The Power Quattro.
Yeah, so we'll see.
All right, Paul. Well, thank you for taking the time, and we will see you this coming Saturday evening.
All right, enjoy that band playing. I hear they're great.
They are fantastic.
There you go. Thank
that's
you.
It. All right, Paul. Thanks a lot, buddy. Rock on.
All right, bye.
There you go. Paul Nelson of the Johnny Winter Band. John, I got to hang with Paul and Johnny about 6 months before Johnny Winter passed away. I did a meet and greet at the New Hope Winery right across the river here. And Johnny Winter was starting to come back to where, he, health-wise. But due to his albinoism and things, he was really he was legally blind. And Paul is pretty much Johnny's right-hand man. He was his tour manager, his driver, his guitar player. Really, and he's a great guy, too. So if you want to win tickets to meet Paul and his power trio, possibly quattro.
You call 609-460-4673.
But right now, without making you wait any longer, we have Mr. Payday, and what are you guys going to do?
Well, let's see. We're going to play 2 songs off the off the record, a new record. It'd be Club Test and Now and Forever.
There you go. Mr. Payday here on Rock On Radio.
Everybody, welcome to the show. Are you ready for some rock and roll? We're laying down the Payday sound. I hope you like it because it's good and loud. You'll bend your hands and stop your feet. We're getting down to the rock and beat. I said, yeah, 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 yeah. Well, all right. Yeah. Do you feel it? We're gonna get down, we're gonna get down. 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 Do you feel it? Oh yeah! Woo! One, two, three, four. When I think about how we started, so close and yet so far away. Now I couldn't imagine a moment in time in which we never had met. Like a picture captured forever. You know my love for you will never fade away. When I look into your eyes, I see the one I want to spend my life. Now and forever, the world may turn. This will never change.
Okay.
Was
We
that
back
2,
over-
or are we going into the second one?
Are we going to do, you want to do?
That was the 2.
That was the 2.
Yeah.
That was 2.
Okay.
You want another one? We'll give
Yeah,
you
sure.
another one.
While you're up, why not?
While we're
Go
up
ahead.
here, huh? Hey! Hey! Let's do, yeah, let me give his thing. Well, you know what? We'll do that next because he's got to get his situated over here. Do Written in Stone.
Okay.
Hey, this is the big hit single.
No matter what the man says, leave it alone. The future's not written in stone. The future's not written in. Cross the path that is all your own. Leave the devil hanging on the phone. Leave it alone. The future's not written in stone. You can make it your own way. No matter what the man says, leave it alone. The future's not written in stone. The future's not written in.
Mr. Payday here on Rock On Radio. All right, guys, come on back over. We'll talk a little more, then in a little bit we'll play a little more. Actually, we got to go to break, right, John? Top of the hour? There you go. Again, 609-460-4673. If you want to give us a call tonight, you could be eligible to win tickets to the meet and greet with Paul Nelson, who just called in. Tell me.
Stayed on the phone long enough. He could have qualified for that.
He could have.
And he hung up.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Right.
Okay.
But he didn't ask about Estelle.
Because you already started off that you don't know where she is?
Oh, there you go. All right. I guess not. All right. We'll be back. There we are. All right. We will be back shortly with Mr. Payday here on Rock On Radio.
Your business only gets one chance to make a first impression. That's why Green Birdie Productions offers free re-edits on every high-definition video we create. Our Emmy Award-winning staff and green screen special effects studio guarantee the quality we strive for. It's no wonder most of our business comes from referrals. Green Birdie Productions. Compelling video, competitive price.
Hi, this is Thomas Johnston of White House Station, New Jersey, singer-songwriter of Irish Americana, and you're listening to PANJRadio.com in beautiful Lambertville, New Jersey, home of indie music, wonderful variety of shows, and great supporters of indie music throughout Hunterdon County and Pennsylvania.
Welcome back to Rock On Radio.
That's rock.
See that? Great stuff, guys.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Excellent. Yeah, no, considering, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Shocking.
I'm telling you, no. I'm looking, and I noticed that we don't have any monitors on the floor tonight. So I was like, wow. And you got what? I don't even want to know. And you guys.
Sorry, it's like playing in the basement.
No, vocals sound great.
Wait, what?
Vocals sound good.
Yeah, they sound good. Good.
It's very energetic. That's what I was just saying over here to you. I was like, you don't even need to go to a gym after that workout with the drum.
Yeah.
That's the Roman element.
If you see us live, we
Yeah.
play like nonstop. We don't stop.
Right. There's like six
Yeah,
songs in a row or
at
something.
least.
That's what happens when you have a Roman rhythm section.
Oh, you're taking all the credit now, are you?
All
That's
of it.
right.
Okay, you'll stick by that.
So do you guys have like Roman stage names?
They
Yes.
should.
Bassus Maximus.
Whoa.
Colossus.
Nikki Sticks.
Or Nikki Sticks. And that's spelled S-T-S, how do you?
S-T-I-X-X.
XXX.
Wasn't he in Motley Crue?
He was. And he switched the drums, and here I am.
Okay.
There we go. What's up?
I forgot
don't
about
have a Roman
Colossus.
name. Don't
Actually, I
look at
like
me. I'm not Roman.
Colossus.
We'll leave with the Romans. For
Lady
that
Nick
stuff.
Young.
I
Lady
am
Nick Young.
Spartacus. Hello, testicles. I mean, oh wait.
Careful. Oh, careful.
Hey,
Two
hey.
jokes. Two jokes.
Whoa, let's go there. All right. So, who's the principal songwriter?
Well, on this
Boy,
record,
Caroline is like, yeah.
on
him.
this record,
On this record, Doug
Yeah,
kicked
he-
butt. I mean,
he
like,
wrote everything.
He came
basically.
up with all those songs like it was a fury, you know, like, and the last couple records we collaborated a lot, but Doug has always been pretty much the spearhead with the songs. And this record, he just outdid himself. Every one is excellent. One thing about playing all these years with Mr. Visdom is I'm spoiled because he is such a good lyricist. His lyrics I would hold up to anybody in music. And you get spoiled after a while being in a band where somebody really writes incisive lyrics, and Doug definitely brought it to the table for this record.
Yeah, I'm not really big on stupid lyrics. Some bands like do that kind of stuff, and I'm like very much into lyrics. So I make sure that I write something that I want to. I'm not going to come back and bite me somewhere.
Do you know what you know Renee, right? Renee Maskin of Lowlight. You guys know her?
No.
Oh, yeah. One of my other bands has played with them.
You know Renee, right?
One of those?
I asked her.
One of the other bands.
I asked her who the. Hey, the guy's busy. Drummers are like that. You know?
Oh, we know. We know.
Sorry, guys.
I don't even want to tell him what song by Cheap Trick is about him, but that's besides the point.
Jeez.
There you go.
That's why they're sitting across from each other.
I think Rob strategically placed them across.
I'm starting to
from each other
wonder.
that way.
Yeah. But anyway.
We no, I forget what I was going to say. I lost my
Songwriting.
Lowlight.
Lost my thought train. Oh yeah, Renee. Renee said to me, she said, if I'm the one that's singing them, I got to believe in them. So I'm the guy, or I'm the woman that writes the lyrics. you know?
Absolutely.
Well, that's
So-
a lot of it. That's a lot of it.
Right. So take Caroline. I'm going to let you do this.
Okay.
And I did this to you, I believe, on One More with Danny Coleman. Take us through a Mr. Payday rehearsal.
She looks relieved by that question.
I'm usually late.
Well, first of all, you schedule it for.
Oh, Nick just texted
8.
it. He's going to be a little late. No, but we usually, start off with some of the hits, as we would say, which is just, it's something we play often and know well right now. And then sometimes we'll dig out some stuff that we haven't played in a long time, or we'll work on some new stuff. And if we're getting ready for a show, we'll just play the set, just like pound it out real quick. And then if we have time, we'll try to work on new stuff. We always try to make sure have a little new stuff in the works, to shake things up. But that's really it, I mean, and then they quote The Godfather for like a half an hour.
Ah.
Or Goodfellas.
Or Goodfellas.
Yeah.
But,
Or Buddy Rich.
But it's fun,
Did you know that? Did
Funny,
you know
he
that
wasn't a Roman.
that Joe Pesci is a guitar player?
Yes, he is. Yes, he
Yeah.
is.
Newark, New Jersey.
Newark, New Jersey. That's right.
Friends with Frankie Valli and
Lifelong,
Four Seasons.
lifelong friend of Frank Vincent and Frankie Valli.
And he brings his guitar to get fixed. Actually, when he needs his guitars worked on, he brings them down to where I do the YouTube show, Monmouth Music.
Really? In
And,
Red Bank?
In Red Bank. Yep.
Imagine running into him. I don't even want to get into it. We start talking like him, then we're going to get thrown off the radio.
Yeah.
Well, the owner of the ranch, Jocko. Jocko has this friend that he and I run into at the diner down the street from the ranch, and that guy works on Joe's Cadillacs. So he said he's just like he is in the movie Goodfellas. When he comes in, every other word is effing this and effing that.
Oh man, that's awesome.
He says what you get on screen is what you get when he's in person. So,
bet.
right? Who's your favorite guitar player, Doug?
Who's my favorite guitar player?
Besides Doug Wisdom.
Let me see. I couldn't even get something off the top of my head. My favorite guitar player. I don't really have a favorite. I have like so many favorites that it's like ridiculous. I mean, I love like old stuff more than I like anything else. That's why my guitar riffs are more like old, like the old style stuff. Like the Barney
Ike Turner.
Barney Kessel, Mike Turner.
Ike Turner.
Ike Turner, yeah, exactly. Link Ray. I love Dwayne Eddy. I love all that kind of stuff. That's the kind of guitar playing I like.
Dwayne Eddy, huh? So you like that kind of twangy guitar style there?
No, I like Link Ray because he's kind of dirty.
Billy Strange.
And that guy should have been Billy Strange, exactly. Yeah, I love that too. I like old stuff, and I mean, like Dick Dale. I like a lot of different guitar stuff.
Dick
I mean,
Dale.
I
Have you ever
like
seen Dick Dale?
guys like Billy Zuma. I've seen him a bunch of times. Yeah, I love Dick Dale. He's great.
The Zoom.
It's a shame he's got to actually go out and play still because he can't afford to because he's because of the lovely health care.
Constant pain.
He's hurting that guy.
I've actually been lucky enough to interview Dick Dale twice. And the one time, we were supposed to be on the phone for 20 minutes. And I'm not kidding you. An hour and 45 minutes later, we were still on the phone. Because he was telling me about, how basically how rough he's got it. And
Oh, yeah,
how,
no, it's
at his
terrible.
age, he never expected to still be having to go out
You
and
shouldn't
tour
have to. It's a
survive.
shame.
How about you, Caroline? You have a favorite banjo player somewhere along those
Well, yeah, I mean, it's going to sound weird with considering what our sound is like, but actually a huge musical influence for me was the Dixie Chicks. I don't know if a lot of people who don't really know about them kind of just write them off as like a cheesy country act. But they, the two sisters who were the banjo and fiddle player, they started when they were kids playing music festivals, and being in competitions. And Natalie Maines, who's the lead singer, her dad, Floyd Maines, is like a pretty famous lap steel player. So the musicality that they bring is just ridiculous. And then, of course, they have 3-part harmony on everything. Their vocals are crazy. So they were actually a huge influence for me. So, like, we do have a lot of 3-part harmony going on and a lot of stuff. And, like, even though we sound nothing like them, like, I definitely take that as an influence in basically everything that I've done, like, in my second half of my life, I would say, musically,
You help us arrange the harmonies. I mean, and
Yeah.
a lot of that comes from it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
How about
So-
you, bassist Maximus?
Well, big influences. Doug Visdom, the Minutemen, Black Flag, the Beatles. Those are the heavy
There's
hitters.
two opposite ends of the spectrum.
But that's,
This guy knows
I mean,
everything.
as far as playing bass.
Motown.
I like that too. Yeah, of course. I mean, actually, not even Motown as much as I like Philly soul. I just get people. I've played with musicians that listen to Philly soul and tease me. Oh, that stuff is rococo, with all the strings and everything. But anytime I hear those great Philly soul classics with the great horn intros and those awesome Ronnie Baker bass lines, those rhythm sections have a big influence on me. Guys like Early Wynn and Ronnie Baker, Mike Watt, George Hurley. I mean, Paul and Ringo. I mean, it's obvious. I mean, I've spent a lifetime stealing from those people, and I should be in San Quentin,
In the words of
Bass
B.B.
jail.
King,
That's the truth.
When Tom Petty said, "Hey, you hear that? I borrowed that from you," and B.B. King looked down and said, "Borrowed nothing, son. You stole it. We all steal from each other." It's I mean, I don't think a lot of people realize, Tom, just how many of those Motown and hits of the '60s were the exact same band.
Yeah.
They were the guys that just went in the studio and said, "Oh, who are we with? Diana Ross." Boom, they played Diana Ross today. Then Junior Wells. Then, boom, boom. They just was the same band. People.
Well, like from what you're saying there, it's like when Doug was mentioning people he likes, or who influenced him, and I'm like throwing names in because I know what he listens to, and a lot of it is that classic old studio stuff. That, I mean, those guys, they were the ones that played all that stuff, countless songs, and. Some of that playing, I mean, another big influence on me is Joe Osborne. And most people don't, you say that name and they're like, who's Joe Osborne?
You mean Joan Osborne?
No, not Joan Osborne. But Joe Osborne. You can Google him. He was the man. He was like the first call wrecking crew guy. And anytime you hear The Fifth Dimension or anything produced by Bones Howe or any of that stuff, that bass, that is Joe Osborne. Aquarius, Let the Sun Shine In, California Soul, and that is heavy bass. It doesn't get heavier than that, in my opinion.
How about you,
Nicky?
Nick?
I have a lot of influences. I started out as a metal drummer.
Neil Squirt. Neil Squirt.
I do love Neil Peart.
Neil Squirt.
My favorite drummer is probably Bill Bruford of King Crimson, and yes, I don't play anything like him
No
because I
cymbals.
can't. It's my turn, Tom. Jeez. But I also like a lot of punk rock drummers, especially George Hurley. I stole his hair. I try to steal his drum parts if I can.
It's the unit.
It's the unit. Jazz drummers like Tony Williams. And then I obviously probably model myself most after Keith Moon, just trying to hit every drum in sight at once. There's a lot. I listen to a lot of music, and I'm always paying attention to the drums and the bass primarily.
Hey, Mr. Shalanda.
Yes. Come on.
Our international touring musician and advisor.
Yes.
Did you know Mr. Bruford?
Yes.
You do?
I do, yes.
From the King Crimson days?
King
or-
Crimson,
yeah?
yes. I do.
And what kind of individual is he?
Very sweet.
Is he a nice
He's
guy?
a sweet man and brilliant.
He seems really funny too.
He's
I
funny.
watch
Yeah.
interviews with him.
Yeah.
See, this is why we have Rich Yolanda. He's the international touring advisor.
Yes, well, in my first record back a long time ago, Ian McDonald from King Crimson produced my first record. So through that
You got to
whole
meet.
era, I met that incarnation of King Crimson I met, but that wasn't with Bruford. But I met Bruford at parties and stuff like that, you know, but brilliant guy.
Yeah?
He's great, good choice.
Thanks. One day maybe I'll play like him, but.
See, now, and actually, we'll take this opportunity, as long as you're here on the microphone.
Oh, okay.
Well, congratulations. Flying Dreams Disconnected has busted the 20-some
Yes,
thousand mark.
yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
With video views. And
Yes, thank you.
we have, Mayor, we have a big thing coming up next Saturday.
Yes, we do. I'm very excited. City of Angels is having their annual walk, run, 5K, and it
Which we will be doing neither.
Well, but we are serving
Sit
a
and
purpose.
watch.
We're serving a purpose. Is that we are going to be doing our meet and greet for both Rock On Radio and for Health and Wellness for City of Angels.
Right. City of Angels is an addiction and recovery outfit. They're all volunteers and they do fantastic work. Nobody at City of Angels draws a salary, but yet they all donate countless hours of their time.
Yes, they
and
do.
this is a big fundraiser for them, their 5K walk run. And the
Absolutely.
musical act.
The musical act is the one and only Rich Yolanda and Flying Dreams.
Yes, thank you very much.
And they will be playing Disconnected live.
Live
that's gonna be
Disconnected.
good.
That's a good band we're playing with. Just great players. I'm honored to do that. It's a great cause. So,
Do you
thank
want to
you.
mention the players?
So you'll have Beanstalk.
Sure. We have Ron Beanstalk, who's my bassist and attorney in the band. That's a good thing.
Convenient.
And,
Convenient, yes.
He's
They
really,
could, they could sue each other.
well, you know, and he's an attorney for some progressive bands. He has Dream Theater, he has Stephen Wilson, and those guys. So he's a cool guy and a great friend of mine. Then we have ex-Zappa drummer Jay Didymo. So that brings some Zappa stuff to the band. And we have a keyboard player, Kendall Scott.
Kendall.
Who's in a band called Project Object. That is a DeWeasel blessing band. So
Andre Chumley.
it's a great band. So come down on September 9th.
Well, we're all going to be there.
At Mercer County Park in West Windsor, New Jersey.
And we'll be doing book signings, DVD,
You will be, right?
CDs,
Mhm.
and then
I know Andre
do we get the dunk tank for you or no?
There will be a kissing tank.
A kissing tank.
Yes.
Oh, you're going to combine the two?
Yes, that's exactly right. So, don't go near the kissing tank.
No, please.
This is Rock On Radio. If you're just tuning in, I am Danny Coleman. My co-host is back tonight, Ms. Marianne Costello.
Thank you.
You just heard from Rich Yolanda, our international touring advisor. Rich Yolanda, formerly of Nectar, Fire Ballet, and Renaissance. Correct.
And he also
Ron
played.
Howden. Ron Howden.
Yes.
That's Richie's
That's-
band.
That's their
Richie was in
Ron
Nectar.
was my drummer for the house band at J. August in New Brunswick. I ran a jam session there for 10 years, and Ron was one of the drummers. I know Ron.
He also
well.
produced a lot of the
And
Bad Karma
he
stuff.
produced the
We
first
recorded in
Bad
studio.
Karma record. Ron.
He's fantastic. He had a bit of a health crisis
Yeah, I
lately,
know.
but he's stronger and stronger.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's
a
awesome.
good guy. Great guy. Awesome guy. Awesome guy, great drummer.
He'll be
Great
watching, I'm sure.
He's awesome. Love him.
Call him.
I just want to mention it. Nick is not only my drummer, but he's also my royal taster.
Ah, the royal
I
taste
don't
tester.
have an attorney, but he is my.
As you drink, Tom.
He checks my drinks and my food for me.
Nice.
Nikki,
And you seem
love
to
you.
speak for him, so it's like a good team. While you're tasting, he's talking.
Romans got to stay together.
Hey, Roman
There you
does it,
go.
Right. I see that.
I love it.
All right, so how about like websites and stuff for you guys? Social media? How do we find Mr. Payday?
Certainly, we are all over the place. We have www.mrpaydayband.com. You also have Mr.
Band as in
Payday,
B-A-N-D or
Mr. Payday
B-A-N-N?
dot bandcamp.com. We have we have our own Facebook thing, Mr. Payday at Facebook. Just don't, sign up to one of those payday loaners.
Don't cash your check through us.
Stay away from the loan.
Stay away from the loaner guys. But,
What's your name, Mr. PayPal?
Mr. PayPal.
Send your money to me.
No, I found that out early on that, Mr. Payday also got a lot of payday lenders.
Yes.
So luckily now, if you go to Mr. Payday, it actually comes up we actually come right up.
We come right up.
It's good, so it has everything like our Facebook. I don't even want to mention Reverb Nation because they stink.
I think we technically
Tell
have a
us how you
Twitter,
feel.
but we don't
Yeah,
tweet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
haven't
no, you guys
updated
don't
that
use
in a
your
while.
Twitter.
But we're on Spotify, I think, too, right, Doug?
Yeah.
Well, this guy's ahead of a Twitter. That's why we never get anything done.
Yeah.
This guy
Tune
over
in
here,
for
Mr. Twitter
for
over
tweets
here.
from 2013.
Yeah,
You're just getting caught
When-
up.
from like the first week that
Come on,
we
stick
had
your
it.
head
it was
next
like,
to the
hey.
next to the mic. It looks like a bird's nest. Maybe some of the tweets will come out of that. This guy over here.
Look at the look he's giving us.
I know.
The daggers.
Why you running?
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you, Nick? Why don't you take that aggression out on the drums? Why
I
don't you guys
do.
play another tune for us? What do you
I'd
think?
love to hear another one.
Coming up.
Sure, there you go.
Yay.
And while they're doing that, if you want to give us a call, you can win the Mr. Payday. Where'd it go?
It's by his coffee cup.
Oh, he took it. You took my prop, Doug. You can win the Mr. Payday, their latest disc, Welcome to the Modern World. We can also, what else are we throwing in there?
We could throw in extreme chakra cleansing for a supercharged life. So while they're listening to the great music, then they can relax and meditate.
That's right, 609-460-4673, and get registered for the meet and greet.
Absolutely.
So far, we've only got one person registered.
Really?
Yeah.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow.
From last week's show.
We
He's
need
leading
more.
the pack.
We need absolutely
So
more.
if you call in and you'll be registered. You got a 50% chance of winning.
That's a great chance. It's one in
Far
two.
better than the lottery. You know the lottery?
Absolutely. The lottery? Yeah, the odds. Ooh, you're back already.
I think what's left of my hair just fell off. All
Hey,
right.
comments on Facebook said
We
that
got
your
comments?
hair
What?
looks sexy.
Yeah, I saw that.
You're sexy.
Yeah, she'd give me a hard time. That's an old classmate of mine.
Is that who it is? I love it.
Not that she's old. I'm saying it's as in old as in the past. You know what I mean?
Careful.
That's what I'm saying. See, you have to carefully choose them things. Are you ready there, Mr. Payday?
Yes, sir.
All right. Rock on Radio, Mr. Payday.
Everybody's got a number.
Yeah, this is Rock On Radio.
How's your mic?
Well, I didn't realize there was going to be a stage change. up
Okay,
there.
no problem.
So we can call.
We're on it. We're quick.
Oh, you done?
Look
Yeah,
how
we're
fast
ready.
that
All right,
was.
let's do Dust to Dust. I think we can do that one.
This is Mr. Payday. Again, 609-460-4673. Give us a call.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Mr. Payday here on Rock On Radio. All right, come on back, guys, because we gotta cut the break very shortly here. Mr. Payday here live on Rock On Radio. If you want to call in and be registered for the meet and greet,
you call 609-460-4673.
thank you, and we'll give you Mr. Payday CD, and we'll give you a DVD. from Ms. Marianne there. That's right.
Well, the big beat and greet outside, though, because like later on we're loading out. We'll be out on Bridge Street here.
That's right. Actually, everybody should come meet and greet you and
That's
grab
right.
a piece
Come
of
on
equipment.
down.
That's right.
Help us out.
It's only 24
We'll
stairs.
throw you in the river.
Hey,
It's
why
okay.
not? It's easy. You could probably do that from the porch,
You're
actually.
gonna be all
So-
wound up,
fun.
man. We're gonna come down there.
Well, you must have had fun carrying up that
See?
kit.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's
You
nothing
get- that's a
compared
workout
to my
in itself.
amp.
Do you like stairs?
Yeah, but your amp is one thing, not 5.
These guys convinced me not to use that chair to bring my amp up.
Oh,
Does that work? by
yes,
the way?
it does. I found
Does
that
it
out
work?
last time.
It works?
It does work.
Rich,
You
how
just-
come we're not taking that up and down
Next
the steps
time.
then?
Because that's
really?
the exercise that you need.
Wow.
Yes, everybody needs it.
Oh, now it's everybody. Yeah, here's your back out. You hear that, John?
Did
Yes,
you see
I
how
did.
you all
You hear
look
that?
at me now? See that?
Wow.
I am health and wellness.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yes, you are. Actually, I was invoking your name last night
Oh,
because I had
no.
this like crick, and I'm like, Marianne be like jamming her thumb in my neck.
I
Right
didn't know
now,
what you were
trying
going to say.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think
On the
that
edge of
speaks for
our
all of
seats.
us.
Wow. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to discuss something that our research department unearthed, because you know it wasn't me. I don't
Oh,
do
no.
research. We
I
know that.
You
right?
do it by the seat of your pants.
Correct.
I know you do.
So we are going to take a quick break, and we will be right back with our guests, Mr. Payday,
Yeah.
right here on Rock On Radio.
See ya.
Would you like to host your own show on PANJ Radio? For a limited time, we are offering potential hosts up to 3 minutes of revenue sharing on advertising that they solicit on their own show. That's immediately covering their monthly fee and has the upside potential to make you $200 a week as your audience grows. Your show can be about entertainment, sports, religion, politics, you name it. PANJ Radio broadcasts live out of Green Birdie Studios in Lambertville, New Jersey. We can record your show ahead of time or do it live. And we can take live phone calls too. We can also travel to your place of business and record or go live with your radio show there. For more information, please contact Rob at panjradio.com or call 609-460-4550. We look forward to hearing from you on the air.
Hi, I'm Ron Gramberg, founder of Clearwater Investment Management, a fee-only and independent registered investment advisory. Clearwater does not sell its own investment products and receives no compensation to recommend any product. Our only incentive is to generate great returns for you. As Clearwater's founder, I have nearly 2 decades of experience, at first as a security analyst, later promoted to portfolio manager overseeing $40 billion, and ultimately became the head of portfolio management at a large financial institution. But Wall Street wasn't right for me, too impersonal. That's why I started my own company. I'm a chartered financial analyst, the most difficult to get and most respected credential on Wall Street. Our minimum is $100,000. Call today and find out about Clearwater's personalized service and institutional quality advice. Consultations are free, and unlike the stodgy Wall Street concerns, I can visit you at your business. Reach out to me at 609-248-6065 or ron@clearwaterinvest.com. I can't wait to make your portfolio the best it can be.
There you go. All right. Welcome back to Rock On Radio. I am your host, Danny Coleman, and my co-host is back.
I'm Marianne Costello.
Yes, she is. And the M Cube is here. You've been busy tonight there, Mr. M Cube.
I am very busy.
You know what I love about him?
All kind. What's
He's
that?
a photographer,
Mhm.
but what I saw out in the hallway before, he likes to be behind the camera because we were trying to get him to go on camera and he wouldn't do it.
Yeah, he's got that affliction.
You're shy. I did not know that.
He's an unphotogenic photographer. Did you hear what he just said?
Well, next time I'm going to take a picture of him taking a picture of something.
Now, Mayor, let me ask you a question.
Oh no.
Okay.
Careful.
Because I've been involved with this before, but and I've actually interviewed these type of individuals in the past. Have you ever, in your lifetime, watched roller derby?
Yes, I have actually.
Have you?
Yes, I have.
You want to talk about that, Caroline?
Do you want to talk about it? You're doing some deep dives into my.
Wow.
I heard that you were involved in roller derby.
I was. I'm retired, I guess you would say. But I played for about 5 seasons. With the
You do not strike me as the type.
Listen,
You're so soft-spoken.
it takes all types to play roller derby.
Yes, it does.
There's everybody.
What was your position?
A blocker.
Blocker?
Yeah. I was a pivot a lot because I'm tall and have like a wide stance. Yeah, so I played for about 5 years. I played for the New Jersey Hellraisers, which
Okay.
is now defunct, unfortunately. But a lot of the same, ladies I played with play on other leagues still.
What was there was a rink in Philadelphia.
I don't know the.
It was it was like an old rink.
Mhm.
Because one time, former Rock on Radio co-host BC and
Uh-huh.
I had a show on Gas House Radio, and which this show used to air on as well till I switched the time. But and one of our very first guests on our radio show were like several of the ladies from the team that was out of that rink in Philly,
Oh,
and
yeah.
their name escapes me right now.
They had a lot of funny names. The Philly Roller Girls, they had some funny names. Their local teams were like the Heavy Metal Hookers and like I don't remember. They had a bunch of funny ones, but they were like my league was like a smaller scale, and they were what we'd call WIFTDA, which is part of the like larger national league.
Okay.
So we never played against them, but they used to. I guess they still do. I'm a little out of the loop these days, but they Philly hosts a conference, derby conference every year in June. So I've played with some of the girls because it would be mixed teams. It would be made up teams, waffles versus pancakes and stripes versus polka dots. And but it was cool because it'd be like mixed, from all different teams. And you get to play with like people who are famous, in the derby world,
Right.
and improve your skills that way.
What
so.
made you want to get into roller derby?
Well, I played a lot of sports my whole life, and and I was wanting to get active again. And I'm not like a gym person. Like I always have a membership, and they stopped going. And I'm like, I really need to be on a team and doing something. And having my friend joined a league and was like, you would love this because like it's just so much fun, So I joined the one by me, and then.
So I love it. She loved it.
It does, like it does and it doesn't because there's rules. I mean, it's a little different now than when I played. Like you can't just like straight up flagrantly
Smash
foul
somebody?
people. Yeah, but like, it's you fall down a lot, you get pushed, you get a lot of bruises. But it was a lot of fun. I miss it, but it was just I got injured a few times, and being in a band, I just had a lot on my plate. So
Well, you
retired.
Being in a band, you get a lot of bruises too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Danny, we have a call.
So we
We
do.
have a call.
Whoa, we have a caller. We have somebody to register. Hello, welcome to Rock on Radio. Who is this?
Hi, this is Steve.
Steve. Hello.
Welcome to Rock on Radio.
Hello, Steve.
Hello.
Hi, this is Steve.
That's my husband.
Is that Natty Ice on the other line there?
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that Mr. Payday is radio quality, and it's great to see him on podcast quality.
There we go.
That's your husband?
Yeah.
Good man.
Steve, Who's watching the kids, Steve?
I thought they were with you.
No!
I knew he was going to say
You
that.
mean these three? You're laying claim to these three live? Okay. Steve, what do you think of your wife on PANJTV.com? Oh, he's got his computer.
Uh-oh.
He,
Stop
I
making
was
noises.
going to say he could get her autograph later.
Yeah.
He hung up. Your husband hung up.
He went to look for the kids.
Yeah.
Wait, where are they?
He's like, no, no, seriously, where are they?
It's like Home Alone.
Yeah.
Probably overflowing the bathtub right now as we speak.
So what does Mr. Payday have coming up for gigs?
Well, we have a lot of shows coming up.
There
We
you
are
go.
Playing at Pino's. Besides the great Rock New Brunswick show that we got on September 9th, we have Pino's. I believe. What date is that, Nikki?
The 15th.
The 15th. We're playing 15th at Pino's.
It's,
That's a great bill, too.
Us,
Yeah.
Naughty Clouds, and Crescent.
Crescent Moon. Which is basically it's like Dave Drywitz from Ween playing. They're playing the songs of Instant Death, which is like in a band that he was in a long time ago. A good friend of ours, Scotty Byrne, and
Sadly missed.
we're
Why
playing
do
with
I
them.
know that name, Scotty Byrne?
He's a great drummer from New Brunswick. Well, actually, he's from Pennsylvania. And Scott was a phenomenon unto himself.
Yes, he was.
He was awesome.
But we're playing with them, and we're playing the same bill as on the 15th, and we're also playing on the 20th on
With Elk City, too.
Yeah, at Bowery Electric in New York City.
Same bill. Well, no.
And Elk City.
And Elk
Yeah, Elk City added to that bill, and then also we're playing the
Let me stop
headline.
you for 1 second.
Sure.
We got a phone caller. I don't want him to hang up. Hello, welcome to Rock on Radio. Who's this?
Hello, Danny Coleman. It's George again.
Oh, it's George again.
He's
Yes,
back.
George. What can we do for you, sir?
I'm calling to register for the prize. I'd like to bring Estelle with me.
Wow. Does Estelle know that you're going to bring her there? George, why are you sounding so creepy tonight, George?
Danny, don't jerk me around. You're not the one I'm after anyway. The one who really has to worry are the one with the blue suede shoes.
Blue suede shoes.
All right, George, you're registered.
My name is George Coleman.
I'm getting freaked out a little bit.
You have to understand, George.
Is this a regular?
George has called my show every week for like the last month.
He's a regular.
Yeah, wanting to know about Estelle.
So
That started
apparently,
from the Health and Wellness show, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's going on a while then.
It is, yes.
Mhm.
All right, so go
Curious
ahead,
George.
Doug.
So
I'm sorry.
the last show is we are headlining.
We need a call screen.
The Raritan River Fest.
Oh,
in,
okay, where's that at?
Boyd Park in New Brunswick, and that's a big one
a
for
big
us because I think we're actually headlining this show.
Oh, good for you.
And that's on the 20th. It's a Sunday afternoon. Everybody come out. It's going to be a good one.
24th.
24th. Okay, good.
September
Thank you.
24th?
September 24th. It's a Sunday. Super Sunday.
Excellent.
Bring out your monster trucks and run up and down the field out there.
Have you ever been to one of them monster truck things?
Oh, yes.
No,
I've taken
I've
my
never
children.
been. Yeah, I've never been to one.
Wild.
When before I started the radio show, I was a UPS driver in Trenton, and they used to come to the arena every year. And because I was the delivery driver at the arena, they used to hook me up with tickets. You know.
Nice.
So I used to take my kids all the time.
It's fun.
Like, you know, yeah. I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm going to be there with like. There's going to be 20,000 people and like 6 teeth, you know. But it was like, wow, this is pretty cool, you know.
Yee, doggies.
I did catch interesting parenting at one of those.
Oh,
once
yes.
at Raceway Park, I was like,
Well, Raceway Park,
Whoa,
you're always going
you
to
know,
find
like-
you're always going to find some good ones there.
even Louie and Tommy looked at me like,
Really?
"Wow, Dad, what was that?" You know?
Hey, this is actually the first show in God knows how long where people can actually see the expressions on their faces.
I know. It's
Normally
great.
we're on radio and people do that stuff and people are at home are like, what the heck's going on? You know, but now they can
Listen,
actually see.
this band is full entertainment.
Oh, yeah,
we do it
no.
all.
One-stop shop.
We do it all. Palanco.
It's like Jack of all trades, master of one.
Correct. That's me.
Oh, is it?
That's correct. I haven't figured out what that one is.
You're the
but
master
yes.
of your domain.
I am the master. I don't even have one of those.
There we go.
The Hotel Silverado's not even on the road either. It's got the transmission issues. All right, well, I'll tell you what. We got about 20 minutes left. You guys want to do one or two more for us, and then we'll come back and wrap it up?
Sure.
All
Let's
right.
go play some. Let's go play Two for Tuesday here, even though it's Sunday.
Wow. Tuesday.
Double Shot Tuesday.
Although Tuesday's in 2 days.
Actually, you heard the show opener was my friend Cindy Drew
Yes.
from WMGK. She gave me a shout out on air a couple of weeks ago. Callan, she called me a rock journalist.
Wow.
I was very happy about that. Apparently, I am.
Yes, you are.
Oh, there you go. Well, then this past weekend, she was on the air, so I shot her a Facebook message, and she comes back. She's like, members of the Drew crew, and she named all like first names, and she gets to me and she says, Danny Coleman. Must be like Tom Callan. It just goes together, you know. So, yes.
It goes together like chili. Crock-on chili.
Crock-on chili.
You
You
made
have
it.
a container
I
of
know.
crock-on chili.
I'm so excited.
I don't know what you do with it.
It's, I was told to remove it from
Rich
the
might be
table.
sitting on it over
No,
there.
he's not. I hid it.
Okay, oh, you hid it.
It's mine.
All right. If you're just tuning in, this is Rock on Radio. You can call in like George, 609-460-4673, and we'll register you for the meet and greet.
Yes. George Coleman.
George Coleman.
He's registered.
Yeah, probably. He is. George Mastery, apparently.
Oh.
Oh, God.
Although it might be Estelle Coleman.
Whoa. 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 Hey, don't excite George.
Oh.
All right. Are you ready there, Mr. Payday?
We're ready. You
All
ready?
right.
You
Rock
ready
on
out there
Radio,
in,
Mr.
TV and Radio Land.
Payday.
All right, you guys ready?
Yes.
Thank voice of the working man. Every day he just sweats and saves. In the end he just drinks his pay. In the morning when the sun comes up, he's staring in that coffee cup. There's gotta be a better way. In the evening where you hear him say, everything is okay. Happiness is just one more bottle away. I could sit and complain, but I'd rather just kill my brain away. Waiting for the clock to hit the 5. Lord knows that is barely alive. Like a carrot dangling on a stick. You know that Tricky's gonna do the trick. Everything is okay. Happiness is just one more bottle away. I can sit and complain, but I'd rather just kill my brain. Oh yeah. Don't see like go. Woo. Drink, drink, he's gonna drink it up. Drink, drink, well, there's never enough. Drink, drink, he's gonna drink some more. We'll take a ride to the liquor store. Drink, drink, he's gonna drink on out. Woo! Drink, drink, he's gonna get real tight. Drink, drink, he's gonna drink his fill. Tomorrow's gonna pay that bill. Everything is okay. Happiness is just one more bottle away. I could sit and complain, but I'd rather just kill my brain. Oh yeah.
Mr. Payday here live on Rock On Radio.
High energy.
Basis Maximus. What is that, the creed? If you're just tuning in, this is Rock On Radio. I am Danny Coleman.
I am Marianne Costello.
I just looked at the shot that Rob had up on the television side.
Uh-huh.
And you were sitting next to me, but this chair was empty, like I was some sort of vampire.
Wow.
I was concerned.
I'm getting concerned. I'm looking at you.
I need another
Am I the only
latte.
one that could see you?
Yeah, here.
No, I don't. No, I can see me now. I'm looking over there.
Okay.
You all right there, Slick?
Yeah, there he goes.
He's ready for set 2.
Does he often shake like that?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
He rocks out like that.
Shake, rattles, and roll.
It's rock and roll, isn't it?
That's it.
If you could feel
What was your
the body heat coming off of these two right now. No, you're fine. You're fine. But oh my God, the energy.
Wow.
You might not want.
Oh no, it's
That's
fine
the
with that. But
Roman
it's talk about
grease
high
factor.
energy.
That's his second, because he played in his death metal band before. And believe me, if you want to see somebody coming close to
my
death,
God.
that's him.
Really?
After he gets done playing that,
It's a workout. Even your glasses fog. Look at that.
he's fogging up. You need like windshield wipers on those things.
He's a hot drummer.
Oh yeah, it's him.
Thank you.
I always said that about you,
I'll take
Nikki.
that.
It's the hair.
Nice.
He's gonna make me humidify.
I always
Wow.
said that about you, Nikki.
Yeah, no, it's actually his headband. It's too tight, but that's okay. It's all right.
Okay, sorry. I did.
Now I'm gonna. We got about 6 minutes left, so we're gonna go around the room, real quick, and we'll start with you, Tom. Tom, rock and roll epiphany, man. What was it?
For me, Black Flag at the Marlboro skating rink when it was still a skating rink. That was just you had to be there.
That was it.
It was that and Ted Nugent with AC/DC opening for him in 1970.
I saw that.
1978. It was like one of my first concerts. I shouldn't have been there. My cousin took me. I shouldn't have been there.
There you go. It's always a cousin.
Yeah, actually, that show, all the chairs on the orchestra ended up in a pile.
And it's lit on fire.
And they were lit on fire in the garden. It was absolutely insane. And then the train ride home on the old, when it was before New Jersey Transit, it was like it was, scary.
Conrail.
Very Conrail. It was just whoever was operating it. It was really bad. They used to put the beat up cars on that train that were all trashed. And it was the party train. It was like, it was a lot.
But they used for New Year's Eve.
But Black Flag at the skating rink, that
All
was like insanity.
Nick?
Yes, Nicky.
Nick. Mine's way less exciting. At 9 years old, just watching MTV like I did, seeing the Metallica 1 video, that pretty much solidified. I'm going to play drums, and I'm going to play in metal bands forever. So that kind of
then we came
sealed it.
along.
Yeah, and then
Did it,
Doug
right?
shook me out of that.
Get out of here.
Caroline?
Well, it's not that rock and roll. I mean, these guys have much more
We're
history.
old. Because we're
I was
old.
trying to. I
Just
was
say
trying
it,
to not
Caroline.
say that.
Say it.
But I do remember the first time I saw live music, like real people. I was a kid. I don't remember how old, maybe like 9 years old. And I saw CCR and Emmylou Harris. And it was like, I was like, yeah. And it was the first time I'd seen like live music on a stage like that. And I just thought that was really, really cool.
Nice.
Emmylou Harris, she's awesome. So
She is.
yeah.
Doug?
Well, for me, I'd say probably seeing the Kinks in 1974 at the barn in Rutgers. That was like a big thing for me at that point. I'd never seen a band so crazy and loose on stage, yet have it together so much that it's like amazing. Those guys literally had like a case of Schaefer across the keyboard and 2 big bottles of Fleshman's whiskey. By the end of it, it was gone. And I'll tell you what, those guys were unbelievable. They were just an amazing band. It's probably either that or probably like the many times I saw the Ramones, because for me, that's like, I still to this day, it influences this band a lot,
And
even
you've
though
seen
it's
them
not.
at City Gardens, right? When it was
I never
open?
saw them at City Gardens.
Oh, you
I
did?
saw them everywhere else.
Oh,
I
okay.
saw them at the pier. I saw them at the barn. I saw them in clubs all over the place. I never saw them there because that was later on. I mean, later on, by that point, I was like more into hardcore. So, I mean, I probably was like, I was like, oh, the Ramones aren't that fast for me anymore. But later on, you realize the Ramones were great, and you go back to it just like everything else.
Sluggy, I'm surprised you did mention the Dead Kennedys at City Gardens.
That's a big one too.
Because that was
a big one.
Blew me away. I was there
That
too.
was that was the most amazing thing I've ever seen, because you couldn't get within 200 feet of that stage without getting punched in
It
the
was
eye.
the violent. It was there were like 6 different. Looked like a weather map where they show the storm systems. That's what
Every time he started
you
a
had to
song.
like run up onto the bleachers because it was like you were gonna get killed. It was
And my favorite is after the show, I'm outside and this girl's like, I think I broke my arm, and there's like the bone sticking out the side. It's just like, I was like, yeah, better call Randy. Randy, call your
ran
lawyer.
home after
call
that.
your lawyer, Randy.
The good
I
old
ran
City
home
Gardens
after
days, yeah.
City Gardens scary.
Oh, get out of here. It was never scary.
That used to be Trisha's
Trenton.
son.
Believe it or not,
Trenton.
City Gardens was the first bar I ever played.
That's
First
cool.
bar gig I ever did was, and it wasn't like
That's awesome.
It wasn't no, it's not as awesome as you think, because
Was that when it was just the little
That's
room
still
to
cool.
the side, or?
No, the big room was there, but we were invited to play a party for the Tavern Owners Association of Mercer County.
Right.
And so I was there, but there's only like maybe 15 other people there at
Yeah.
that point. So it wasn't like I was on some big bill with.
Believe me, playing that room in front of like 3 people is the worst.
It was
in
hard.
that room. Ooh.
We did that.
We did that. Oh yeah, we did it
Not
with Lunar.
easy.
With Lunar Ensemble. I think we did that. That was something else. But
Yep,
yeah,
well,
that's like nothing better than looking out at the place. And there's
Thing
like
is, you
4
never know
people.
who those 3 people, who they are. You know.
Yeah,
Except
that's
that one of the people was a dog.
Yeah,
Nice.
exactly. It was like one of those things.
Literal.
Yeah.
Seeing eye
A
dog.
lot of ashtrays. A lot of empty ashtrays staring out at you. Back in those days when you could smoke in those bars.
Oh yeah.
We used to
Remember
always
when
call
you
them
used to
ashtray
smoke at
clubs.
John and Peters.
Oh yeah,
God,
no.
You walk out of there with stage 3 lung cancer. The ceiling was 6 feet
Yeah,
high.
I felt bad for the barmaids and stuff.
Oh, God,
the waitresses.
It's better now. They don't do it now.
It's like people go in there with a vengeance.
And it still smells like
still
smoke in
in
there.
there, though. It's like in
It
the
doesn't
virus.
matter. It's still going to be. It's
Do you
never going to get
believe
rid of it.
I had a gig at John and Peters one time, and I mean the place is just like you can cut the smoke with a knife, right? So I'm thinking, oh Jesus, everybody's smoking in here. So I had a little Robusto cigar about this big. I light it up. The waitress came over and says, "You can't smoke that thing in here."
They drew the line with that.
That stinks.
They drew the line with that.
serious?
Swear to God, as I sit there, I was like, "Are you
It's like a
kidding
cigarette
me?"
on steroids.
Right?
Come on.
Good Lord. Meanwhile, I'm down in like Vegas, and there's people sitting at the bar smoking cigars, and I'm like,
Oh
"Can I
yeah, they
smoke
don't care. They still
a
do.
larger cigar like that?" Oh yeah, somebody's over here smoking a joint the other night. Whoa, okay then, guess not.
Well, now they
Well,
will
it's
be.
9 o'clock, and we gotta go, guys. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you for having
you.
us.
Thank you. Are you
Thank
kidding?
you for
This
lugging
was
the
great.
equipment up the steps.
Very
and,
energetic. It was excellent.
Ah, it's
We're
good.
lugging them back down
for
now.
hanging out with us again. Rock New Brunswick. You guys are involved on what day?
That's right. We're playing on September 9th, and the big festival is on the 10th. And there's also an after party on the 10th, which
At
actually includes,
Scarlet
that's
Pub.
at the Scarlet Pub, and that has Experiment 34, Speed Queen, the Turnbucklers, the Clydes. I think
Yep.
that's all of them, hopefully.
Correct.
Sorry if I didn't name you one of them.
right.
I think I
Mayor?
got them all together. We're gonna name Bob's band, kids band.
There
Better.
you go. Experiment
Better.
34, right?
Yeah,
All
better-
right,
better name
guys.
that
We
band.
got to go.
Come on
We're
now.
after 9. We're late. I have no idea who our guest is next week because I forgot to check.
I
But
wouldn't know.
we'll be here. So until then, rock on.